Hello everyone, welcome back. It's been a busy week, my god. Made a start on the inside, so we've now got a bed, which is a good start. We've got heating, that's all in. We've got fully insulated, carpeted interior, and if you can see behind, I've just put some new lights on. So there's quite a lot to get through in this episode, but there's no way that I can fit everything into one of these YouTube videos. So what I've been doing is, on Patreon, I'm filming pretty much every day and just filming the whole lot. So if you want to see everything like in more detail in individual episodes, then you can have a look on there. But if you're happy to see everything condensed into one video, then enjoy the next 20 minutes or so. Right, speak to you in a bit. Morning everyone. I am going to have a look and see if I can get these seats in the other van. Obviously the ideal is to have two travel seats where one of them swivels, because it's better way to do it, isn't it? But I don't want to buy one yet because they're very expensive and a long way away. Oh yeah, I forgot how weighty these are. This is heavy. Yeah. This is good. I wonder if it'd pass a MOT with my head in the ceiling. I did this as well yesterday. Give all the paint under the coat. I've done this door, so this is now carpeted on the inside, and we also now have a can holder. I don't know if this is allowed in this country or not, so what I've done is put riv nuts in the door. Rather than bolting it both sides, we've got riv nuts with spring washers. So if they say you're not allowed it, when it comes to MOT time, I can just whip it off and plug the holes. But for now, it's looking very familiar. This is what the new triple spotlights are going to sit on. But I need to make a bar across here, so I can obviously have 3 mounting points, because this is only a double. But I bought this for the Focus, so might as well recycle it. Not got any lights on that anymore. The reason she's doing the wheels on the car is because I asked her and she's never changed a wheel in her life. So I was like, that's not acceptable in this household. So I thought she could learn on that. I got a message this morning from Roger Rabbit and he said, why don't you just fabricate a seat base? So at this point I'd already sort of decided that I didn't want to do it. Then he said that, and alarm bells went off in my head like, why didn't you just do that in the first place? It's not finished, just, yeah, don't judge me because it's in the early stages. Just so that I could put the seat in and see what the deal is, basically. Get a proper feel for how it would be, which isn't like this, because the seat is all the way back and reclined way too far, but because it's electric, I can't adjust it without plugging it in again. So it does look pretty awesome, and I've spun it round and tried it this way as well, and it is also very cool. But it's also made me realise that actually I don't really want to do it now. It's just unnecessary, I think. I'm not saying never die. Maybe in the future I will revisit this again, probably not with such big seats. I mean, they're so comfortable, that's the most annoying part. I'd love to change both seats, but they're too big. No, that's the bottom line, they're just too big. The gap for me to go in and out the back has suddenly shrank to about 25 centimetres, and that's with that seat in there. If I switch that for the driver's seat, which is what I'd like to do, I'm going to be breathing in just to get into the back. It's suddenly made the van feel very small doing this. I don't like that because I was quite happy with the size. But yeah, I think doing this has made me realise there's no point. When it comes to MOT time, if I have to put the passenger seats in the bench to make it pass, then yeah, as much as I love these seats, it's just not going to work. I think it's going to be more fun and more useful having the space. Call it a day, because I've spent a whole day on this. It's 5 o'clock now, so that's 2 days pissed on coming to this conclusion, which I knew anyway, but that's just how I roll. Hello all, I just got back from the shop. Oh, wind, oh, good test. I've got a new mic setup, wind muff thing, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, been to town, got some carpet, you know, that's the only way to bring it back. So, although I said I wasn't going to do the carpeting before I've done the ceiling, I can't decide what I want to do for the ceiling yet, and it's holding me up. So, I need to get the carpet down and then I can start building things. I wanted black, but they didn't have it. So grey it is. It's only less than a tenner, it's about £9. That roll should do the whole back of the van. I also picked up some cable because stuff off the other van roof, some of it's okay, some of it is a bit bodge. I want to do a nice job, so pretty much the right size actually. Right, let's get this cut. Got another bargain today from Euler. In the bargain bin, these knives, I needed to buy some Stanley knife blades, and they were about £5. And this was, I think it was 80 sec. I mean, I'd sooner buy this if I were doing work with than bloody Stanley blades. Oh, look at that, it's like butter. That actually looks really nice, we'll see. I think it's probably a good thing not to go with black.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Even that's quite dark, isn't it? Black would be horrendous.
Yeah, lovely.
It's going to be a proper cosy van.
Are you going to layer it?
Is that the thumbnail, your ass on the carpet?
No, this is the thumbnail.
Okay, go on then. So true. Well, after that though, that looks smart. Filled in that bit, clipped down the sides a bit. I'm going to put some trims on the edges. Now we can start to figure out the bed situation. Okay, that's the basic bed frame made up on 3 sides. We've got some angles in the corners. I'm going to do that here as well, so I'll show you. And then we've got one big screw going in. So I built it first because obviously this is going to go against the wall in a minute. But that's what I've got to figure out now, is getting it against the wall, level. I might have to get some boxes to balance it on or something. Because don't forget, although this may sound stupid to some people, you can't use a spirit level when building a van. It just doesn't work. This is how I've opted to mount it, with riv nuts. This is one here. They work very similar to a pop rivet. You know, you put it in and then the tool squeezes it and it mushrooms out. This is the tool. There's a million of these things. It screws onto here. Obviously you have to pre-drill your hole that fits this, and as you clamp down, this will mushroom and get stuck behind the metal. But as you can see with it threading off there, the good thing about these ones, you then have a nut in the wall that you can bolt stuff to. All level, the creative propping up methods, which just so happen to be a recycling bin plus 20mm of wood. But what this means is all the way around I get my 35 centimetres, which is what I want. So all of this, all the way around there, is all the same level. So it works. I know that, you know, the floor is my reference. You can do that, or if you've got a straight line up here you can use that, but I'm just going to use the floor. I've took my time with it just because I didn't want to rush it. Old Ash would have had this whole van built out already, but I'm trying to take my time and do a nice job that I'm proud of, rather than it just being a piece of shit. Good morning all, welcome to the crib. As you can see, I carried on a little bit last night, and this morning I came out and gave it a bit of a paint. I think it's dry pretty much. So I'm thinking the heater is going to have to go in that back corner. That's about the only spot that's free. Today I'm going to get this door done, insulated and boarded over, because I've made a bit of a mistake and I don't want to make the same mistake here. And that is, I've put the skylight in before I've done the ceiling. Now that wouldn't be a problem if I do decide to clad it. That'll be fine because you just clad around it. But if I decide to do a solid sheet, which I am kind of swaying towards, to be honest, just because of headroom, then trying to get the square accurately cut out without making a complete hash of it is going to be a pain in the ass. Whereas if you put that first and then cut the hole for the skylight, it's easy, because you just cut the roof, then go through, cut the ceiling, job done. So with this door, I'm going to build it up now, and then if and when I get a window, you know, I can do a nice job of it and cut it all to fit nicely. That little job of me doing the making the door work, which it does now, seems to seal up better, but I had to take the whole headliner out to be able to get to the little bolt at the top, which I put a couple of extra washers on. You can sort of see challenging filming conditions. There we go. Yeah, so it's just the foil around the edges I need to figure out. But the panel's done, it's all insulated, sealed up, good to go. Now the other job I've been doing, which is definitely cosmetic, is the headliner. So that now matches all of this. Well happy with that, that's lovely. Same carpet again, same technique. I actually think it works really well with the light plastic. I was a bit worried it was going to look crap. It just all flows now. The back sort of flows into the front. It just, yeah, much better. Right, hole is done. Oh god, that was an arsehole to do. It is quite a big hole. I've decided to do it a different way to what I normally do, just as an experiment really. So we've got a big hole all the way out. Obviously this plate goes onto here, and then what I'm going to do is put some of this ducting in the hole and make it stick out proud underneath, probably an inch or something, just to try and protect the bottom bits, you know, where the pipes go in. Either way, you need a hole in the van, and that's what we've got now. It's basically the same principle as one of those turret things. Again, I did say at the start of this build, if you remember, don't copy, because, you know, things like this, I'm experimenting as I go, and it might not work. So I don't know what it is with me. If there's a certain way that everybody does something, for whatever reason, I have to do it differently. It's just how my brain works. I've got to try it a different way. Look at that. It's dramatic. It is always dramatic when you get to this stage of your van build, start cutting holes in things. Connected up then with version 1. It's a little bit elaborate, but it's all in the name of not being pissed off by that thing, which, as you can see, is suspended by springs. So hopefully that'll do the job. It said its angle and everything. Everything's pegged back. That's over there. And then the exhaust out the way of everything else goes outside. I know it's a bit ridiculous going to these lengths when I could just screw it onto the chassis. That thing drives me mental. For those that aren't on Patreon, the amount of effort I went to in the workshop to shut it up, literally days of experimenting, and it ended up outside anyway. The only other job I need to do here is I'm going to make a mud flap that hangs down like this and stops all the shit flying up onto the exhaust. It should have mud flaps anyway, really. That's why this corner's roached out. I'll do one for that side as well. Look at that, it's just the shit comes off the wheel and just all over there. Stupid. I've just put 2 rails down either side that leave a 20mm gap, so the slats should sit fairly flush. I don't like that look, you know, if I just put them on the end like that. I don't really like that. Hopefully we've got enough. Yeah, this is going to mean the best possible ventilation on the mattress, which is what we want. You're joining me midway through the day, as ever. But this is our ceiling, finally. A lot of back and forth on what I was going to use, but in the end I've decided to go for this lovely birch plywood, 4mm, which I've not marked. That's good. And I just really hope I've just done that cut correctly. As you can see, it is really quite nice. It's not like normal shit plywood. I've already got one piece in. The ceiling is all insulated, vapor barrier. What I did was I peeled the carpet down and then connected this onto that vapor barrier, just taped it together and then put the carpet back over. It's as good as I can do. So, but yeah, I'm half tempted to just leave it like this, to be honest. I really like it. Maybe I'll oil it or something. Came out this morning and lowered the bed by 2.5 centimetres, and actually, although that doesn't sound a lot, I think that's cracked it. If I sit right up straight, then my head's on the ceiling, but who sits like this? Just sitting normally, I think it's going to be alright. We'll give it a test fit, see what it does. Oh, looking good, are we? Oh yeah, I'm going to have to round off these end corners. Yeah. Okay. Now, there we go with quality content. If you're into that sort of thing. I think I've actually whiffed this corner. Might need to make this a bit longer. Oh, we need to round that as well. About there. It's turned out alright. It didn't go as smoothly as the first bit, which I was kind of expecting, annoyingly, because there was more to do. That bit went in beautiful, and this one is not perfect. The seam, there's a 1mm gap all the way down, which is just excellent. This back bit, what I'm thinking to do is to put a strip along here, because this is obviously gone like Mexican wave. Yeah, some kind of strip along the back just to support it, because it's only held in on this join and around the fan. Okay, I've just done a little bit of work on this. Got creative with the old Dremel. So we're good now until we get to the winder, which I've got a smaller winder, so I've put that on. But it clears until that. So what I may actually do is cut that winder in half. It doesn't work perfectly, I have to move it with my hand, but it does work. Because I really don't want to do a standoff and make it any lower. So, yeah, I think all I'm going to do is cut this thing in half. I don't really use this that much. The way that I tend to use this fan, I don't have it all the way open normally. I turn it on so the fan's spinning, then I get the winder and I turn it maybe one turn just so it's cracked. So I reckon I can slice this thing in half. Okay, so what I've done is slice the little thing in half. Still pretty solid, I think it'll be fine. Let's see if that sorts it. I've also sliced a bit out of this blind as well, but not that I'm encouraging anyone to do this. Okay, so that still works fine, but do we close? Oh yes, where's the clip? There, that's it. Problem solved. It's not quite a smooth operation. I have to pull it down a little bit to get over those notches, but that'll do. Oh, job done. Right, let's do something fun. Right, we're on to the next thing, which is more lights, obviously. As you can see behind me, it's kind of the Swedish way to fit as much light on the front of your car as humanly possible. So that's what we've got on there, but we're lacking a little bit on this guy. So I got in touch with a company called Auxbeam and said, I need some lights. And they've delivered. They've definitely delivered. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be short of light on this thing. I need to mock up. I've got to make... I only have a double light bracket. So, we're obviously going to be putting 3 on here. You know. Because that's just what you do, isn't it? So they've sent out these whoppers. Well, they look like they're going to do the job. So, there's some other lights as well to go on the sides. And there's also the control panel which is going to deal with everything. And that'll be later on. Bear in mind, they sent me all of this stuff for free, so, you know, thank you to them, of course. I'm not ungrateful for it, but take my opinion with a pinch of salt. I mean, to be fair, my opinion so far is pretty good. Like, there's a full wiring harness with them, and it's all waterproof connectors and everything, all water resistant, whatever. It looks quite good stuff, is what I'm saying. But the proof is in the pudding, isn't it? And time will tell if they're going to last or not. So obviously we're going for 3 of these because, you know. Oh, so that's going to interfere with that bolt there. Oh, please don't fall off. Right, so that's going to be our bracket. I need to get this chopped off, give it a quick blast off with a wire wheel, rust treat it, paint it, and then that should do. Again, just so we're clear, this was all completely free. There's no money involved whatsoever. They're not paying me to say that they're good or anything, which does happen if you didn't realise. But no, there's no money. There's just, they've sent me the lights, and what they want in return is for me to show them being put on the van, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm probably not going to show every inch of installation because it's going to take me a while, but I'm sure it'll be pretty straightforward. I mean, it's all ready to go. There's just a switch there which I'm not going to use because I want to tap them off the full beam of the van, so when I press full beam they just come on. I don't need a switch, it's pointless. That's what all the other lights are for. I'll leave a link to the Auxbeam website if you want to have a look at the specs and all of that kind of thing, but I'm not doing affiliate links or anything like that because I'm not encouraging you to buy them yet. We don't know if they're going to be any good. They need to be tested properly before I can recommend them. The most important thing when you're spending a few quid on stuff like this is it going to last? You know, it's no use it being mega bright if it only lasts 6 months and then shits its pants. So I'll keep you updated. I mean, you'll see anyway. Once we start getting going, you know, I'm going to be needing them because if you didn't know, where we live during the winter, there's not a lot of daylight. And I'm going to be taking this further north where for a little while there's no daylight. It's called the polar night, if you've never heard of it. So that's why people in this country plaster their cars in lights like that, because it's very dark during the winter. So it's kind of an essential, really. Camera's getting toasted. The rust treatment isn't even dry yet, but I am the world's most impatient human being, so yeah, I think I'm going to have to do a support because that's going to wobble a lot after a while. Because of the curve of the bumper, the side ones are already kicking out a little bit, which is what you'd do anyway. You have this one facing central and the side ones angled off to the sides of the road, so you can see any moose or reindeer jumping out at you. I think we can all agree they look pretty cool. I've not got them wired in yet, that'll come later, but just wanted to get them mounted and see what they look like, really. Still need to make some braces because that's not ideal. Yeah, I think they're going to do the job. We'll have to see. There's no point even wiring them in now anyway, because it still doesn't get dark here until like 12. A few more weeks and then we can actually test them out and see if they're any good. I think that's going to be it from me because it's been a very busy week. It's been a very busy month actually. But I think the next job is going to be starting with the wiring now, getting all the roof sorted out and put the cables in, get it all plumbed down and go from there really. Got more lights to go on, more gadgets. I've not even started on the cab yet. You have to wait for that. That's going to be fun. fighter pilot mode engaged. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you soon. Catch you in a bit.